Titans and Packers on Sunday Night Football and a chance to win $100,000. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. Thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. That's right, Sunday Night Football is between the Titans and Packers, and over on the NBC Sports Predictor app, we can win $100,000. All we got to do is correctly predict 7 questions, and we can take home that jackpot. If nobody can do it, they'll give away a guaranteed $5,000 prize to the people that can get the most points. Last week, we got 35 points. Wasn't bad. What we got right was we got that Baker Mayfield passing touchdowns. We got both questions right on Colt McCoy. We got that Nick Chubb rushing touchdown total, and we got the player with the third quarter most yards, which we continue to crush that question. And then, of course, we got the winner right of that ball game. So, again, 35 points, not good enough, though. We need to do better, and that's what we'll do. So let's jump on into it and see how we'll do it this week. All right, question 1 this week involves around Aaron Rodgers, and it's what's going to be his passing yards and passing touchdowns. Well, Aaron Rodgers is averaging 273 yards on the season and 2.8 TDs per game. The Titans allow 276 yards per game, which ranks 29th in the entire NFL. The Titans have allowed 29 passing touchdowns, which is just 2 off from the worst in the entire league, and that's an average of about 2 per game. I'm going to go ahead and lock Aaron Rodgers in at 265 to 289 yards and give him 3 passing touchdowns on the night. If we go ahead and look at question 2, that's Derrick Henry rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Derrick Henry is averaging 120 rushing yards per game and 1 touchdown. His average per carry is 5.2 yards per carry, which is 6th best in the NFL. The Packers allow 110 yards in the NFL per game, which is 11th best, but they allow 4.5 yards per carry, which is 21st in the league, and the Packers have allowed 14 rushing touchdowns on the season, so that's only 1 per game, so they're doing really good. If we look at Derrick Henry, though, game log, and see how many rushing touchdowns he's had per game, he's had 5 games of 0 touchdowns. So while he may average 1 per game, he's gotten 5 games with 0 touchdowns. He's got 4 games with 1 touchdown, 4 games with 2 touchdowns, and he's had 1 game with 3 touchdowns. I'm going to go ahead and lock Derrick Henry in on 100 to 124 yards, but 0 touchdowns on the night. Next question is around Davante Adams, receptions and yards. Look, on the season, he's got 98 receptions on 131 targets. So that's out 8.1 catches per game and 10.9 targets per game. And remember, that factors in the Detroit game. Then he didn't play almost exclusively that entire second half because he picked up that hamstring injury. He's averaging 99 yards per game and 12.1 yards per catch, which is really good. His lowest output, if you go ahead and remove that Detroit game, he had 6 passes is his lowest output, and his most game is 14 catches in 1 game. He's had double-digit catches in 4 of 11 games this season. Again, if you remove that Detroit game, he's had 7 catches 4 times. That was his most common number, is 7 catches. And he's had double-digit average yards per catch in 9 of 12 games this season. I'm going to go ahead and lock Davante Adams in an 8 to 9 receptions and 95 to 114 yards. That's taken, the reason I got the yardage is that's taken 9 catches and times 12, and that comes in at 108. So it's right in that range there of 95 to 114 yards. Question 4 here is what's going to be the total second quarter points? Well, the Packers are scoring 13.2 points per second quarter, which is number 1 in the NFL. The Titans are scoring 8.8 points in the second quarter, which is 10th best. The Packers only allow 5.6 points per second quarter, which is number 1 in the NFL. And the Titans are allowing 8.9 points in the second quarter, which is tied for 24th. So if we go ahead and look at that Packers average, that's what they score against what the Titans allow. That comes to 11.05 points. Titans average comes in at 7.2. That's a total of 18.25. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in at 15 to 20 points scored in that second quarter. And we've gotten this question right a ton over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. This is a very common question on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. We've gotten this question right a lot of times. So look forward to getting this question right again on Sunday night. All right, question 5 here is who's going to score the first TD of the second half? Well, Derrick Henry, as mentioned earlier, has 15 TDs on the season. A.J. Brown has 10 TDs. Juju Smith has 8 TDs, and one of those is rushing. Any other player for the Titans has 19 touchdowns from 10 players. Aaron Jones has 10 TDs on the season. 2 of those are receiving. Devontae Adams, again, he has 14 touchdowns. Robert Tonyan has 10 TDs on the season. And any other player for the Packers, you'll get 19 touchdowns from 8 different players. Couple notes here. Let's go ahead and start with the Titans. Derrick Henry accounts for 71% of the team's rushing touchdowns. So if you think that they're, going to be rushing it in, well, you're going to go with Derrick Henry because he's getting 71% of those things. A.J. Brown is the only wide receiver on this team with double-digit touchdowns. Next is Juno Smith. And Brown is also the number 1 in targets on the team, but only by 8. So it's not like, he's far and away, the go-to wide receiver on that team. He's number 1 in targets, but just by a very slim margin. If we go ahead and look at some Packers notes, after Adams and Tonyan, the next best is MVS, and he's only got 5 TDs. So you really like that. They give you 2 of the really dominant players here in terms of Packers pass catching. So there's a big drop-off after Adams and Tonyan to the next guy. Adams and Tonyan, they account for the number 1 and number 3 team in targets, so like that right there. And Tonyan is actually tied with Aaron Jones in targets. They're tied for 3rd there. So based on all that information, I'm going to go ahead and say Robert Tonyan. Look, I already got Aaron Rodgers throwing 3 touchdowns, on the night. So somebody's got to catch these 3 touchdowns. And if you look at Robert Tonyan, he's really great in the red zone, got really good red zone production. Again, I like that he's number 3 on the team in targets and that he's got, second best touchdowns on the team right there, passing wise. So just really like Robert Tonyan and what he's doing in that passing game and how that chemistry is going on there with Aaron Rodgers. Question 6 is what's going to be the longest completion of the game? This was an absolute complete guess. Titans, of course, by the time you get this point of the season, all these teams have big-time plays for pass completions. Titans have pass completions of 75, 73, 63 yards. Packers, they've got big ones, 78, 72, and 56 yards are their 3 biggest plays. The Packers' biggest completion allowed, though, is only 52 yards, which is 4th best in the league. The Titans' biggest play that they've allowed is 75 yards, which is tied for 25th. And the absolute complete guess, I'm going to go ahead and say 51 to 54 yards is what I'll do it. And question 7, as we know, is always what's the winner and what's going to be that win margin? Well, the line is currently right now Packers -3.5. I think this is going to be an absolute fantastic game, probably the game of the day. You got 2 teams absolutely, fighting for something. We got the Titans right there still, not only in the playoff race, but still can possibly win that division. Packers, a lot going on right there with possibly clinching, the number 1 seed, battling up against the Saints. So it's a lot on the line. I think this line is extremely close at -3.5. I think, the sports books have it nailed relatively close as to what it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and say the Packers win this game, but I'm going to say 1 to 2 points. I was between 1 to 2 and 3 points, and my gut just said 1 to 2 every time I was hovering over the button and trying to decide which one to push. So I'm going to go ahead and follow my gut on this one and say the Packers win the game by 1 to 2. That's how I'm filling out my chances to win $100,000 on Sunday Night Football between the Titans and Packers. Go ahead and like this video, guys, and drop something in the comment. Let me know what you're thinking and share it with your friends so we can all win that money. Otherwise, guys, I'm Jason Mattis, and I'll see you on the next contest.
Thanks for watching this episode of Winning Bets. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you again when we are celebrating the wins and making more winning bets. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more winning bets.